Yo guys, what is up? It's Teach here, coming at you again with another video over on Ark Survival Ascended, and I wanted to show you how to use something properly in this game. You can see it's caused the death of a creature behind me, but that is how to properly use traps. And I'm not talking about trapping creatures. There are literal traps inside of the game, and you can see them at the bottom of my screen here. I've got the improvised explosive devices, bear traps, large bear traps, tripwire narcotic traps, and then tripwire alarm traps. I'm going to talk about how to use all 5 of them, what they're good for, and some really crazy overpowered stuff that people forget a lot about. To give you an example, right? This is the quick fact if you didn't know it already. This is a enemy tame. So anything that is tamed, including humans, if they get hit by a bear trap, they have to wait the full 800 seconds. Yes, you're hearing that correctly. 800 seconds is how long they have to wait before they can actually get out of this trap, because they have to wait for the actual durability to go down, which takes approximately, give or take, per durability on this, it takes about 8 seconds. So that's crazy. So basically you have to sit and wait, and this includes if you get stuck in your own, but I'm going to talk about all this stuff and what you need to know and why they're so useful. So anyways, if you don't mind, smash that like button, leave a comment below for the algorithm, and then consider subbing to the channel. All right, so anyways, there are 5 total land traps that you need to know about. The first one is the tripwire alarm trap. This one is almost completely useless other than it makes a ridiculous amount of noise and will scare the ever-living piss out of you. If you throw down 2 of them, what'll happen is they will, well, apparently that one didn't want to connect itself, but they will throw down a line in between the 2 of them, and they will make an just absolutely bonkers noise for a long period of time. You can turn them on to the point where you can enable wild dinos to trigger them, and you can enable them being tripped by allies. But just to give you an example of what they actually sound like, I am going to go ahead and spawn in a tamed wolf, and then we're going to go and unclaim it so you can see what this actually does. Now, the value of this trap specifically is not all that good, if you want me to be honest with you. It just makes a crazy amount of noise, right? So let's go ahead and get him to make the noise for us. You can see he's pissed off, so is that guy over there. Come on through. Yeah. So it makes this absolutely terrible noise, and you can kind of hear it. Pretty much you can hear it from just about, I don't know, 100 foundations away. It's crazy. The amount of noise it makes is almost, it's disgusting. It really is frustrating. So yeah, it's not great at all. So you can see our buddy's still trapped over here, bear trap. Yeah, he's been trapped there for quite a while. So that is what that one does, and you kind of, I mean, really, other than being annoying, that's about all it does. Now, the next one that a lot of people forget is even a thing. It's got a hilarious little, like, I don't know what you want to call it, skull emblem on it. When you put 2 of these down, they're going to create a wire just like you did with the alarm wire. And this one's a little bit different. Each one of these, just so you can see, you can unwire it by holding this, and it'll literally just say, okay, I can rewire it, so on and so forth, just activating and deactivating it. But what you'll be able to do actually is run through it. Anyone can, by the way, unlike the actual tripwire for the alarm, this one will let anyone run through it. And it'll cough up 2 puffs of gas that are going to do a total of 240 torpidity to you. So yeah, by the way, yeah, bear trap, not good. You see, even you will have to wait. You can't demolish this, so that sucks. So yeah, you have to use explosives. But this guy is actually really useful because just about nobody in the game can not get knocked out by a narcotic tripwire, any player at least. So what you can do is you can actually place a few of these around base with the ability to have grass be a little bit more. It is very useful because, okay, apparently he's just decided that he didn't want to, you know, come here, cross the line. There we go. There he goes. So you can see that that thing just got torped quite a bit from it. So this is actually a really useful strategy because it does it in a giant puffed cloud. It goes about 2 foundations left and right, and then like a foundation or 2 up, if you want to think of it that way. But it's a very, very useful thing that you can use in order to actually knock out players, specifically some tames. Or if you want to calculate how much torpidity they can actually have, you can notice that these things will apply quite a bit of torpidity and can knock things out. The only negative is they cannot knock things out that are wild and then tame them. So you have to actually go through the process of shooting them with tranq arrows. So if you want to calculate how much you actually need, it's certainly a doable thing where you can figure out how much tranq darts or tranq anything you would need after applying these things. Now I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye to this thing because it's a frustrating thing. Really, the only valuable thing for these is to use against players and have them ready to go. Now you can throw comedically a couple down, And just so you can see if something's sitting in the middle of it, it will not activate. But as soon as somebody moves away from it, those are going to activate and it'll knock somebody out. So very useful for that purpose. And again, you can still see this guy is still stuck on that bear trap. Now, the next two traps are more commonly used. These are more used to tame things. The large bear traps are used for base defenses and for taming things because they will lock any large creature, any medium or large creature, inside of the trap for a total, we'll call it between 10 and 15 seconds. It's an approximate time frame. Now, the benefit of these is you cannot trigger these, and small dinos will not trigger these. However, if someone, a Stego or a wild Giganotosaurus or Rex or anything, steps over the top of it, they're going to be stuck in place, and there's nothing that they can do for that period of time. It is a very useful trap, and yeah, bear traps are very, very convenient for that purpose because they just get stuck. Now, they can be destroyed by using any form of actual explosives, but they're very good taming things and kind of a little bit of base defense. So you can see that those are the large bear traps, and then the small bear traps, right? These are meant for small creatures only, and there's not much you can do other than get locked in place. You see this guy is still stuck here since we started this video. 22, he's not going anywhere. It's the moral of the story. And they're very useful. Now, the last thing on our list is a very commonly forgotten item. These are the IEDs. Now, the explosive devices essentially are items that you can place down, and they do a small amount of damage. Now, the negative thing is if you place two of them next to each other, right? You can see it right here. These two, when placed next to each other, will blow each other up. So just be aware of that. So if I walk over one, they're going to both kind of compile and do that damage. So you can actually pile a bunch of these together and do a ridiculous amount of damage. I'll go ahead and show you by volunteering a wolf as tribute. I didn't mean to blow that one up, but you saw what I was trying to do. So these are actually a little bit underused because they can be pretty good for PvP, but the only negative is people will see them, so they'll just avoid them because obviously it's hard to miss giant, like, sticking up things in the ground. So just be aware of that. And again, they are very, very, how do I say this? Because the explosive damage isn't perfect, they seem to never really do enough explosive damage to actually activate and cause damage to something. So yeah, it's not my favorite for that reason. But is it something that could work? Yeah, it's something that you could certainly make work if you wanted it to. I'm gonna go ahead and unclaim this guy so you can see what it looks like to have IED damage inside of Ark. So there's gonna do that. And then we're gonna go ahead and run across these things. Really, that's how we're gonna do this? Yeah, come on over here, buddy. Come on. Thank you. Just so you can see, right? Not very much damage applied there. It was like 70 damage per blast. And again, not very useful. However, it seems that if you get really close to the edge of that IED, because it's close to the explosive zone, it does a little bit more damage, but it's really not worth it to use these things. They're good for kind of destroying basic things or having a little bit of a startle alarm, if you want to think of it that way. But overall, they're not super effective, which kind of sucks, but you can see there are effective things amongst the traps. So of those 5 traps, right, the ones that you want to know to use, like just a quick rundown for each one. The alarm trap, just annoying. The narcotic trap can be very useful for anti-players, so in PvP situation. The large trap should be used for taming large things and then trapping PvP large dinos. And then the 4th overall one is one that is very useful because it can trap a human or any tamed creature for 800 seconds. So keep that in mind. There's nothing you can do about it. You're just stuck here, so that really sucks. And then the last thing, the IED, not super useful. It's just, you know, it's unfortunate, but I wish they could do more with it or go back and fix it so it was actually an effective trap. But those are the traps inside of Ark, and hopefully this video helps you out a little bit and shows you some of the really awesome things that you can do with traps in this game. All right, Teach.